Hi everybody, Dr. Clark here, doing another segment, doing some tick collecting up here in Fayetteville, Georgia. I'm at another residence now, across the street from the site where I did a few other segments, some of the earlier segments. Got an awful lot of ticks there. It's a little later in the day now. It's about 3:40 in the afternoon. A little warmer, of course the humidity is a little lower, and now I'm across the street at another residence where I've collected a lot of ticks in the past, and I'll just kind of pan around and show you a little bit about what this place looks like. So I'm in the backyard of this residence right now, and you can see that there's woods all along the edge here, and fairly thick. There is another home site over on the other side there. And then they have a relatively large backyard. You can see that a lot of it is in the sun right now, and it's actually quite dry. It has not rained much here lately. And I'm mostly just walking along the edge here, as you can see to your right, walking along the edge of this property and dragging my cloth along through there. There's my drag cloth right there. And even in this small little area, just from about where that drag is up to this area here, I've actually something biting me on my arm, sorry. I've collected quite a few ticks just in that small area. I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually quite a few ticks inside this alcohol vial right now. That's just in about 10 minutes worth of effort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back this way. You can see there's a lake back there, and I can go along the edge here to your right and swing around back to that edge of that lake there, and then I can also go over past the dam of this lake over on the other side. You can see it over there, and the woods along that edge of that area there. It's a common area here for the neighborhood. And so I've worked there before, collected hundreds and hundreds of Lone Star ticks, and again, this is late April, early May, so I'm mainly getting Lone Star ticks. I may pick up a couple of other species. We'll see. I've collected a few adult black-legged ticks in this area before, actually around the same time of year before, so we know there are some black-legged ticks here. I've picked up a Gulf Coast tick, Amblyomma maculatum before, and a couple of other things. So there's a bit of a diversity, and you know, like most of the properties around here, there's all sorts of squirrels, and there's rabbits, and there's just an unbelievable number of birds everywhere. I mean, you can just hear them singing constantly. So a lot of diversity of birds, and we know birds can disperse ticks and can also serve as reservoirs of Lyme disease and so on. So you know, we really need to do some pretty extensive study here. I would hope maybe one day I can do some animal trapping and test some small mammals, and maybe get some samples from some pet animals and so forth in the future and study those as well. We know that dogs can be great sentinels for human tick-borne diseases, as they get exposed to the ticks that also bite people. And so if the animals are getting infected, then we know people are being exposed as well, and likely also getting infected to some degree. So I'm going to go ahead and do some collecting here, and I'll probably show you another segment here in a few minutes. And in fact, maybe I'll just leave this thing on right now, and I'll go down here and pick up my drag and walk along this little area right here in front of us, and let's see if we can see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to lay my drag down here like this, so you can see there's my drag. Let's just take 10 steps, and then let's see if we get anything on the drag. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we will stop and turn the drag over and see if we got anything in that little area. So I don't see anything on the drag there. So you know I'm not setting this up and cheating. I'm going to keep it real, and maybe we'll try one more one more of those, and let's take another 10 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's turn our drag over again. Whoops, stuck on something there. And that time, okay, I can see we got quite a few actually. We have a female Lone Star tick right there. And I can see some nymphs as well. And I'll look over here up in this area. So we may have only gotten a couple that time, but anyway, that's the idea. And again, we're just walking right along the edge of these woods right here in these people's lawn. Granted, it's a big yard, but right along the edge. And in fact, you can actually even collect ticks right in the grass that's really mowed very, very low to the ground. It's very short. You can even collect them in there depending on the conditions. A lot of times I'll turn the drag over and look at the side that I just dragged along and pick off some ticks, and then when I turn it back over again, there's ticks that have crawled up just from the ground where it was laying. So no shortage of ticks here. I can see that there's still a very healthy population, just like last year. So we'll get a bunch more samples and do some more testing and see what we can find.